All right, so one of the dopest Claudia clapbacks so far was after she first got inaugurated, they asked this one old comedian from the 80s and 90s, like, hey, how do you feel about the fact that Mexico's getting a woman president now, right? And then, and him to be a funny guy, he was like, oh, it looks like we're gonna have a housewife for the next 6 years. And that kicked off a fucking firestorm, right? So then in one of the press conferences, I think it was a short while later, they asked Claudia her opinion on the statement, and she went right into it. She's like, not only is it fucked up that somebody would use that as an insult, she's like, but I'm a president, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and I'm proud to be a fucking housewife, right? And then that just made everybody But then she doubled down when she was a short while after that introducing all of the constitutional reforms that she was going to be making. And one of the constitutional reforms that she mentioned, which, by the way, that's how a lot of these things are getting put into effect. They're being written right into the Constitution, so it's a lot harder later on for future presidents, if things do get wonky, for them to be able to undo a lot of these constitutional reforms. So she announced that she was going to give women over 60 a pension.
Pero ¿quiénes somos las que principalmente cuidamos de los hijos y las hijas? ¿Quiénes somos las que nos encargamos del hogar? Que esté limpio, que esté levantado. ¿Quiénes somos las que cuidamos hasta los maridos?
All right, a pension, because a lot of y'all have been asking in the comments, is something that socialists and communists fought for a long time ago with the 8-hour work week and all these other benefits that we used to have that have slowly been eroded. But a pension was that if you worked for a company or you worked for a factory for a certain amount of years, when you retired from that company and factory, they would calculate how much time you put in and they would pay you out every month from there on out until the money ran out, right? So you used to be able to collect a pension from a factory and you still collected Social Security, which the other cool thing about the policies that Claudia and AMLO had put in is that it's very different. Like here in the US, if you're collecting disability benefits, you can't make more than a certain amount of money or else you lose your disability benefits, right? Which is fucked up. Whereas in Mexico, it's quite the opposite. If you're a woman over 65, you're gonna be collecting your pension. If you have kids or grandkids that are going to school, they're getting a scholarship and stipends. If you have a no interest rate loan through the government, that's not being affected, right? If you are indigenous, you're going to get benefits from being a part of the indigenous community too. And like all these things pile on top of each other. It's not either or, you lose all your shit, right? The other cool thing that this reform is reminding me of is it reminds me of Thomas Sankara in Africa, in Burkina Faso. So when he became president of Burkina Faso, what he did is he said, Wednesdays, all the women get the day off. Men have to do all the work to fill in the gap for the women, because we need to recognize how much work the women are putting in. And that's like a small way that you could start to kind of bring some equilibrium to shit, right? So I appreciate that very much.